the next example here. Okay, let's solve this one. So we've got to isolate, but now we have a negative radical here. See that negative sign there, and we've got radical. So I'm going to move this negative radical over to that side. Why? Because it makes it positive. It's easier dealing with positives. Now I'm going to move this 7 to join that r. So that becomes r plus 7. Okay? So now we have this radical. We're going to get rid of it. So we square both sides. So this becomes 5 minus r. Now this square means you have r plus 7, r plus 7. So we have to rainbow, like we did way back in grade 9, grade 10. So it becomes r squared plus 7r plus 7r plus 49 equals 5 minus r. Okay? So now, this determines movement. Don't move all those that way, because it just makes things messy. So, let's just do some tidying up first. So I know these are like terms, so r squared plus 14r plus 49. Now I'm going to move these guys over, so it's minus 5 plus r equals 0. So we have r squared plus, these guys are the like terms, 15r, these guys are like terms, plus 45. Now, you can factor it, because we know how to factor. You can factor that, or you can put it through your quad program to get the answer. So, it's up to you what you want to do. So, I think it's faster factoring. So, I'm going to go over here and factor. So, r, oops, what's going on here? R are two numbers that multiply to get the, oh, pardon me, made an error here, that's 44. Okay, so actually that is going to be too much time for me to factor because I'm trying to think of numbers at 44. So let's go to our quad program, type it in. So our A is 1, our B is 15, and our C is 44. And out popped, R is -4, and R is -11. Okay, now, well, we know it can't be two answers, because if you see a radical, it doesn't cross two places, not like a parabola or a quadratic. So, which one is going to be extraneous? So I'll just touch on this one too, because it's a new one we haven't done. So if we're doing this one, we have this coefficient. You can't divide it out because there's nothing to divide out. So you square both sides. Now when you square this, you have to square it first. So that's 9, because 3 squared. Then it times by that bracket, because that radical and that square and that radical cancel each other out. Well, that cancels, so it's 2x plus 3. So you see that little thing going on right here. You have to rainbow in. So it's 9x minus 18 equals 2x plus 3. Now simple algebra, move that over. So it's 7x. Move that over. It's 21. Divide by 7, divide by 7. X equals 3. Well, is that a true answer or not? Well, we can find out using our calculator to check. So let's go to y equals, let's clear, let's type in 3 and go down here, type in x minus 2, and now we've moved the other one over, so it becomes minus second square root, and it's 2x plus 3, so 2x plus 3, and we get a graph, and we have an answer of 3, so trace 3, enter, And voila, we got a 0. So we know that is an answer. All right, and I believe that is the end. Now, these questions come up and they're probably ones that people have difficulties with because they're not used to certain words. So like this one right here, perimeter. Perimeter is the distance around, all the way around. So this is a pretty easy question because all you're doing is you're adding up this to this to this to this. Well, we'll make it into a multiplication, so I don't want to write it out too big. So I know that there's 2 of these, 2 widths we can call them. And we're adding it to 2 of, we'll call these the lengths. Okay? So now let's just distribute. So it's 6 root 2 minus 2. 4 root 5, 2 root 3. And now we're trying to look for like radicals. Well, there is no like radicals. So that is the answer. Okay, so they seem kind of hard, but they're not that hard. All right, the next question over here is we're trying to find the area of this whole thing here. Well, you divide it up into 2 shapes because you have a triangle and you have a rectangle. Well, let's do the rectangle. Well, the rectangle we know is length times width is the area. So we go root 30 times 3 root 2. So that is really 1 there. So 3 root 60. And then we jailbreak 60. And what does that become? 2, 3, 5. All right, so now we group these together so they break out of jail, so it comes out. So it's 6 root 15. Then we add it to the other shape, which is a triangle. And we know triangle is base times height divided by 2. Well, the base is 2. The height is this part here, which is this part here. 3 root 2 divides by 2. So let's just multiply that in. So that becomes 6 root 2 over 2. And then this cancels out to make it a 3. And then we add it down here, so 3 root 2. And can we bring these together? No. So there is our answer. Okay, so just watch for those ones. Those ones are a bit challenging. And that is the end.